that he was putting his hands on. And then his boss came up and told me it's him. And then the boss says it's him.
Good morning, ladies. Hey, Mister. Look at you, Jess.
Oh, you look so cute.
This was so long. I gotta take a picture.
I know.
I had to bring tea. I didn't have to. Oh.
You never have to bring tea to my house, and you know that, so don't play yourself.
No, but I had the new ones that I wanted to. I got 2 new ones.
What you have? Let me see. And you came here with literally 2 bags
To mix them
for a
together.
group meeting.
Because I wasn't sharing with you. Because I know you got a massive amount of tea. These are just the 2 I wanted this morning.
You couldn't bring 4 at least.
Busting the balls much. You right.
Look what Jazzy bought me.
Snatchy.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna wait on Sharon a couple of minutes. Nat's not coming, and Tammy's not coming.
See, I didn't even know you needed.
Oh, you trying to take a picture?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what she was doing.
Jazzy knows
Keep
she's
that down, my
into ingenuity. She has 2 gold pins on her belt.
I should do. That's how I told you stuff to get. That's the part.
That's the ingenuity part.
Did you say you wanted more coffee, correct? Mika?
You are just too cute.
No? You don't want anything?
Tea. I
Tea?
have tea.
I don't know. I wasn't feeling the coffee. I don't know why. Probably because of my.
I hate my love.
I
I just done it.
He said, I just need it.
Are you thirsty? Help yourself to anything on the table. We have apple juice, coffee, and a whole bunch of tea.
Thank you.
Okay,
sorry.
No, you good. You good.
So now see ya.
That's from last time because I wanted to give you a hug, but I didn't want to keep going.
You good. Penny, it does not mean, like, every week I'm listening to the playbacks of these meetings, and the first thing I get is Penny, go home. No, mommy's not here. Mommy gave y'all instruction before she left the house. I know she did. Go do what she told you to do. Now. Thank you. I can't even edit these things out of the videos.
Jasmine, you don't like those chairs. You want to sit in the couch?
Yes, no, that's fine.
Thank you.
What are you doing? How's she having a photo session?
A whole one, baby. A whole
She's
one.
a whole one.
A whole one, baby.
That's nice.
I know, right? I know, right?
What's your hands, baby? I want you to get hurt.
Isn't that just nice?
You want to see? You want to see?
Yes, it looks very nice.
Let's look at it.
I'm sorry.
Come on, look at the picture.
Oh, cute.
Look at cafe right there.
Cafe de la de la Kia. Cafe de la Kia.
I can't. All right, yeah, so I rearranged everything. This is,
Yes.
I gotta get accustomed to this setup, and I keep, listen, y'all just have to get used to the fact that, okay, so if I stand back here, you can see me. That's not bad. We're gonna get it together. Just bear with me. I don't know who's on and watching, but can you give us a hi? And we will be starting the actual meeting in a few minutes. I'm not gonna get up here with your water for your tea.
Nobody's cousin.
You take this one.
I'm coming.
That's not coming today.
Oh, right. That's
Yeah.
yours.
All right, thank you.
Do you guys want me to pull the bin out so you can put whatever you need on it? Okay.
Yes, thank you. I look like how to
And did you want anything, Sharon?
I need a pen. I couldn't find my pen, I'm sorry. Just to take notes, just in case. Thank you.
Today's format is gonna be a little different.
Okay.
What I wanna do is actually spend the time that I didn't want to spend talking about what's happening in the world today. I want to talk about the COVID situation because it looks like we're about to go on lockdown again.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about the George Floyd situation. You know, when we have these meetings, it's never a bitch fest. We're not here to complain. Everything that we do is solution oriented. I do want to just get you guys different opinions on what you feel in regard to everything that's happening right now. And really put it on the table because I have my own beliefs and ideas of things that's Tamika's.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said I put your wood in here. You didn't get any tea.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have my own ideas of what should be happening, but at the same time, because I understand the energy, even though I don't necessarily agree with and don't want to participate in any type of protesting for the reason that they're protesting, it's necessary and it's important. And this is the first time in history where people are protesting and getting damn near immediate responses. My thing is, it's nice that you get on TV and the cops take the moment to take a knee with everyone, and the different city officials are reallocating monies to different places and taking it away from the police forces. But once this election season is over, once the planet opens the hell back up and things go back to whatever the new normal is going to be, are these things going to stick? If you look at history, our parents, our grandparents fought their asses off. And that for me is the biggest thing. Everyone is fighting. We're fighting, we're fighting, we're fighting. But why are we fighting when there's another way? If you are aware of and you acknowledge and you live as the energetic being that you are, and you're not focused solely on the physical, and you understand that where my attention goes, my energy flows, why are we collectively spending so much time, and we have been spending so much time fighting? And I'm going to stop right there because I wasn't supposed to start yet. We still haven't done celebrations. I have something else that I want to say real quick, but that gives you the gist of where the meeting could go today, right? All right. Everybody got what they want?
Yes.
No snacks, no nothing. Everybody's good?
Tea, please.
Okay, I got you.
Thank you.
Big cup, little cup.
Little cup.
Okay. You can pick out which ones you want. I didn't mean to make you feel no type of way. I see you put your teas on top, like.
No, I already put my bag in the. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going. It's all right.
Morning, Becca.
Yes.
I just realized there was a big cup on the table, and I kind of want that big cup of tea.
This one here?
Yeah. Anybody else want that big cup before I take it?
No, go ahead.
Okay, and y'all stop calling me in 5 minutes. 5. I'm sorry, guys.
What?
I'm a broke bitch today. I didn't even get to bring no wine and stuff. I'm sorry.
Girl,
There's no need to be sorry.
if you don't stop with the shenanigans, okay? This is your cup, baby.
Mr. Cheapo. My house smaller later.
Sharon, this is your cup right here. You waiting on water?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This is
You must have knew I was hungry.
this is yours.
While we were upstairs, like, yo, I'm so hungry.
Oh.
I guess we can put water.
You'll be all right. I wasn't hiding it. I say that to everybody about everything. You'll be all right. Are you okay?
I'll be alright.
I know.
What should I say?
Yo, if I continue to hear you whine, it's gonna be a problem.
Who won?
My baby.
Oh.
Nazi. He mad he can't get his hands on these
I can use this
snacks.
to start.
Sure. Yeah, I was supposed to put a bowl of butter out for the croissant. That's why. I keep standing in front of the camera. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, we're about to start. 10 minutes in. I'm gonna open the door. I only close it to keep the kids out.
Can I grab some milk?
I don't care. It's too hot. All right, y'all. So, welcome. You know how we start this off. We're gonna do celebration. We're gonna start with H.E.R because we missed her last week.
I'm sorry. I was in the zone.
If you don't stop apologizing, let me explain something to you. I don't know what happens when you leave these meetings and you deal with those people that have no clue as to how things should be, but when you come here, you are comfortable. There's no judgment. If shit happens, it happens. You are living your life, and we understand. So please stop apologizing.
Okay.
Relax. And let us know what the hell we celebrating.
I don't even know what I'm celebrating.
Oh, my hair always sticks up like 10
Just
cents.
this one second. That side is fine. Perfect. The other
I'm
side.
gonna have $50 million in the bank doing a live show on Channel 7, and my hair gonna be sticking straight up because that's what it does. Like, call me Tintin. I do that. Yo. Like, come on. What are we celebrating, baby?
Okay. Start off little. I woke up early today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sleep schedule's starting to get back on track. It's starting to start.
I love it.
I made let me see this week. Okay. I made progress with the store. I completed 3 pages.
Wow.
Yay.
It was with the legal stuff though, like
It
the
doesn't matter.
terminology,
Progress
like,
is progress.
and the thing. And I finally figured out because I couldn't thinking like I'm missing something. Like, what am I missing? What I want to do is have African American suppliers in my store.
Okay.
But the only thing, it wouldn't be able to be completely African American because I was doing so much research and I cannot find no African American furniture manufacturers at all. Just for home decor and stuff like that, but actual that makes furniture that I can get from.
Are you looking solely in the United States? Or are you looking outside also? So expand your search. Don't say you can't, just say I haven't found it yet.
Okay, that's true.
Okay.
It's just because the shipping times will be less if it's domestic than international.
For this moment right now, you're not worried about shipping times. What you want to do is figure out where you're going. Get clear, get decisive, make your choices, do your research. And certain things shouldn't even affect your thought process, like shipping time.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation that I had with Asia. If people want your product, they will understand, especially if you are importing. You get me? So don't worry about your shipping time. Just get your product, get your distributors, your manufacturers, whatever it is you need together, and everything will fall in place. So don't worry too much about the little things right now. Okay? But yeah, let's clap it up for the I guess we could go around in the circle. You could go next, Abby. If you're on the clock, if the clock is on the floor, it will go this way.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Well, let me swallow this bread. Just the real me at all times, people.
Lucky we ain't upstairs.
I caught it. I'm trying to say something. Yes, you and me both. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll celebrate this week.
How y'all not prepared? And you know we start every meeting with celebrations. Y'all should have been like in the shower this morning. Okay, so this morning I'm gonna be like.
Well, I was thinking about not getting locked out. You called, I was like, yes.
I'm celebrating. I started Black Mother this week, and I finished. Oh, I even I've done 4 weeks.
Explain
Yeah, what's
to the
Black
people
Mother?
what Black Mother is? Because this is an awesome project that you just started.
So, people, Black Mother is a documentary slash short film. It's about the oppressions we face as Black mothers, the hardships we face, the struggles we face, and the fears we have for our children growing up in a world where police are killing our kids and they're discriminated against and they're talked about. And yeah, that's what it's about.
Well, I love the progress. I love new beginnings. I love new projects. And I especially love stuff that is going to pay it forward, bring awareness. Awareness. I want to bring y'all some awareness. That I just fucked that word up. No, bringing awareness to the things that are going on right now. So I wish you all the success in the world.
Amen.
And yeah, I can't wait for it to be completed. And we will be figuring out how to get you guys on Facebook access to the viewing or something if you're part of the group.
Yeah.
Okay. Mika.
Yes.
You knew you was next.
I know. I'm just celebrating that I turned 40 years old today.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, it feels good.
Another year.
We
still here.
Yeah. Black on Friday. Yeah.
Beautiful, right? Now, my darling Kai, looking like a superstar.
My celebration is I was able to do something that was extremely difficult for me this morning. So, you know the background, but basically I wrote a letter and I burned it. So all the words were scattered.
You did it.
That's pretty.
Y'all don't understand the celebration, but I'm gonna let you know I love you. I appreciate you. I'm with you. And yes, clap it up for God. Give us some love. Myself, I am celebrating the fact that I woke up early enough to feed you guys today.
Thank you.
I knew it. And this has just been a friggin' awesome week. And in the beginning of the week, I was very like, oh my God, F the group, and I'm not doing it no more. And then Spirit spoke. Here we are. And I said, you know what? It ain't about y'all. I'm here for you, but it ain't about you. So just being able to get back to a place where I'm here for me. I'm comfortable now. I'm aware of why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it. And it's not that I ever stopped the momentum, but now I'm totally engulfed in that energy again. So I feel good. And that's my celebration. Before we start, I want everybody to look at my shirt. What's this lady's name? Hold on. When I went this morning to go and get the little snacks and stuff for you guys, I ran into a lady. She was driving down the street and she said, can I give you something? And I said, okay, you know, I look at everybody strange. Who you trying to give me something for free? But I stopped and I spoke to her. And she said she makes these shirts to just remind everybody to be kind and look out for each other. So, you know how I am. Give me a pen and paper. I don't have no cards on me, but I want to give you my information. Find me on Facebook or whatever. And I explained to her that I was a mindset and lifestyle transformational coach and consultant. And she broke down in tears. And she explained to me that she makes these shirts because her mother was a counselor or something like that, who was very much in the community helping people, looking out for people, trying to elevate everyone, right? Excuse me, baby. I know. And then she wanted to so she started crying and she's explaining this to me, and she told me that her mom passed away. So she used to spend all of her money on her mom. And now that her mother's not here, the money that she would put on her mother, she makes these shirts and she drives around Newark handing them out to everyone. So I said I was definitely going to wear this shirt. See, it says "Be Kind." I don't know if you can see it clear. Okay, closing the door just fucked up the light. You saw it first. But her name is Justine Battle. So if anybody in Newark or the New Jersey area ever comes across this lady, show her some extra love. Definitely be kind to her. And just appreciate people like her in the world. That's that.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we could get into it now. I'm gonna sit down because I'm hot. I need them to stop coming because it's too hot. So I started it off real quick, explaining what I wanted us to discuss today. Is there anybody who would like to start?
Well,
Okay.
I wanted to speak about Black Mother, and are you willing to take some, even if it's not you said Black mothers and their struggles, would you take, what do you call it, excerpts? Is it
Excerpts
Yeah, excerpts
from
other Black women.
Of other women of color.
Yes.
That's-
Before you answer that, I would like to say, because even in times, because there's a lot of women of color that we do so much to better ourselves. But I had an experience once where it was like it was a cop, and I was real big. I had just came back from VA and stuff, and I was driving a taxi, and at that time I was like, what, 2 years in, and the cop, somebody had hit me in Manhattan. So when I called police and everything, they told them to leave, and then they cursed me the heck out, and then they called me a fat, ugly black bee, and then said, you shouldn't be behind no cab driver, no cab driver. And so right away, you know us. I call IED. Oh my God, I don't even know. But it just so happened I didn't know nothing about this particular organization. My husband called. He said, "Call I something something." But it's the police for the police.
IAD.
IAD, that's it.
Affairs Department.
Internal Affairs.
Yeah. So IAB Bureau. Internal Affairs Bureau, right? That's
I
what it
mean,
was.
I guess that's the point of it all of Black Mothers. Like, because one of my interview questions is, what struggles have you faced, if any, as a Black mother or as a Black woman? It's not just Black mothers, it's Black women in general. Like, there's questions pertaining to being a Black woman, and I guess it's tied into the topic for the day because that's what's happening. Like, that's somebody's child. Like, all these children and all the adults that's been shot and been killed at the mercy of
Police.
hands. There's somebody's child. Somebody's mother is crying now because their child is now gone.
Or
And right, or you know what I'm saying, or father. So I don't know, it's sad. But it is like what Mom was saying about it being like the catalyst, because it's like now everybody has really, like, we're home. You know, the world has stopped. So people can really pay attention to what the hell is happening to these Black men and Black women.
And the police. Sorry. The police station, when I was on the phone with IAB, the lady, I could tell she was a woman of color just by her voice. That might sound discriminative, but we can tell, sort of, kind of. But anyway, she said, the next thing that I'm about to tell you is extremely important. Do it, whatever you do, just keep the phone on the dashboard, keep me on speaker so he can hear me talk to you. And then the house, they call it the house. So when the AAB called the house, which is the precinct, he went back to his home. The partner had just happened to call him as she was speaking to him as he was out my window. And he went back. When he went back and came back, he was a total different person. Man, he even told me he would make sure I'll never be able to drive a cab again. You know, stuff like that, just full of threats. So when he came back, he apologized and said, you know, if there's anything after this that I can service you with, please don't hesitate to come. I think it was 116 or something like that. But he was definitely a 360 short Spanish guy, and his partner was white. But the white guy was more lenient towards me and sympathetic towards his behavior. I said, "You're letting him talk to me like that?" And he kept on trying to calm the police officer
That's that overseer mentality.
And is it? And I was blown. I couldn't believe my eyes, but it ended well.
In regard to the response, even though we can see the benefit, we can see the beauty in the chaos, it's still a lot of upsetting things happening. Individually, because we all see it from a different perspective. Individually, what good do you see coming out of it? What change, not good, what change? What positive change for our community do you see being a direct
Result of
direct result of the protesting that's happening now?
I think now, since so many white people, they're like, I ain't gonna say so many, but there's some white people who's really starting to acknowledge like their thinking process, how they was raised, what they were taught to feel about Black people or people of color. So now I think that they're like, what's the word? Kind of sympathizing in a way, but like they want to change, they want to show that they're not racist, so they're going to try to do everything they can to show that they're supportive of us. So this is the time I feel like to put them on, okay, you want to support us? Support our Black businesses. We support y'all all the time. Support us.
I have to bring it up because this is my issue with the whole situation. Mm-hmm. Although I see the beauty, what bothers me is the fact that all of this time we've dealt with these people, and I don't make it a Black or a white thing. Because if you want to keep it a buck, it's a socioeconomic thing. Mm-hmm. We don't hear about the white people getting shot, but they're definitely out there getting shot by police. You get me? So it's not race. Race is easy because it's what we know. It's a power struggle over the haves and the have-nots.
Always been. They can't have that much.
My thing is, why are we still 400 or 500 years later? And I can't even say that because we didn't want to assimilate into their culture at the end of slavery. We built our own cities. We had thriving communities, owned our own businesses. Yes, Rosewood is one of them. Black Wall Street. It's a number of them. First of all, we don't even learn our history. And you can't use the excuse, especially today, that you don't know the history because they don't teach it in the schools. The shit that they teach you in the schools is irrelevant. They still teaching our children that Pluto is a fucking planet, my dude.
You gotta be kidding me. Wow.
That simple, that one thing right there, we grew up learning Pluto is a planet. So if you've known your whole life that Pluto is a planet and all of a sudden you find out it's not, doesn't that mean there's so many things that you might not know the truth in? Mm-hmm. You get me? As much technology as we have access to, I've seen homeless people. I don't know if they have them in the other cities. In New York City, they have these kiosks. Do not come here. In New York City, they have these kiosks. And you can call 911 or make phone calls. You can charge your phone. I've seen homeless people. Huh?
The city links?
Yes.
You could go online too, right?
Mm-hmm. It's free Wi-Fi, all kinds of stuff. But I've seen homeless people who literally sleep on the bench across the street from me, charging their cell phone. Yeah. How do you not have access to the information? You get me? So my question is, why are we so hungry, so thirsty to assimilate? Why are we not building for ourselves? And just because you build for yourself doesn't mean that nobody can participate in what you have going on, that everyone is excluded from what you're doing. But why do we have to be a part of their shit?
We don't have to be, and we don't care enough.
We are
about
not
it.
in the same situation that we were all those years ago, where it was easy. And today, of all days, proves it. The fact that Spanish people, Asian people, African people, European, everywhere on the globe right now, they are protesting for this cause. I'm not going to say they're protesting for George Floyd, because it's not about George Floyd. It's so much bigger than him. He's the reason. He was the catalyst. You get me? But can we go back? And I'm not talking about Trayvon. I'm not talking about Eric. Let's go all the way back to Amadou Diallo.
Oh my Lord.
Yo, my mom just said that's probably who the one person is. That's why she can't say nothing, because she don't know how to work it. But she just spoke to me about this. She thinks we're related to her. You get me? And I think that's one of the reasons why I said, let me just break down and have the conversation. Because I don't even want to talk about that. I have to process that myself. My point is, what's keeping us from having our own?
Conditioning what we condition ourselves.
So we know that. That's obvious to most of us, or to a large portion of us. So what do we begin to do to educate these people? To let them know. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wanted her. Before all of this shit broke out, before Corona, that was my purpose. Because I'm you. I'm George Floyd. What's the girl's name? Breonna Taylor. Sandra Bland. What's her name? Sandra Bland. Mm-hmm. We come from the same type of environment. You get me? We share DNA. So why? How could I learn the things that I've learned, have the experiences that I've had, and not think the next course of action would be to pay that shit forward? What are we doing? And I kind of want y'all to do that. And you think in order to incite change, you have to take some really drastic measures to incite change. A simple word can incite change. But are we really thinking about where the change begins? We can get up and we can go downtown and stand in front of, what is that shit called? City Hall, and yell and scream and be angry and protest. What are you doing after you get home from the protest? And I'm looking at y'all. I probably should be looking at the camera, but you get it.
The regular normal, the normal that we had previous to us going to City Hall, we'll just revert back to what we had to do that night. Are we outlining what should come next, or are we just going out there to scream?
This is what I'm trying to figure out. What's the next step? What's the next step after the protests are over? You get me? And
well, what would be the next step? Press?
No.
But then press, no.
You don't have, that's what I'm saying. And that's why we get stuck. Start with yourself.
Oh.
And you think because you black, you do everything right and you don't have to make any changes. They have to change. We're putting all of the blame as a collective on someone else. It's not just the white man. It's my job. It's the hospitals. It's the government. You get me? She just gave us a story about the Latino dude, the cop, being more aggressive with her than the white cop. So we can't keep looking at, it has nothing to do with color. What are you doing as an individual? What kind of conversations are you having with your children? And just because you sit down and you tell your young black sons, listen, if the cops stop you, this is the protocol. What else have you done? How are you changing what's going on? Do you guys have anything to add? Any suggestions? Any lungs?
Yeah, sorry, T, went down the hole. Sorry.
You all right, baby?
Yeah, that struck home when you said the conversation our black sons or our sons of color don't. My first thing is always don't resist. Don't resist. Whatever you gotta say, just wait until we get there. Don't say absolutely nothing. Act like it doesn't even matter. But don't be aggressive and don't resist. But I haven't went further than that.
I think we
But
need-
that's an excellent, I mean, why are we stuck with that? Okay, so we start with ourselves. Okay, so we spread the news, make sure you have the conversation, make sure you have that conversation. What else do we do to make sure everybody is holding ourselves accountable for not getting messed up?
Wait, say that again.
Oh, we police our own selves?
Hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable. Now, you and I, Tamika, we've had the discussion. I love Candace Owens.
Oh, God.
She recently released a video on her opinion of George Floyd.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I ain't
Dang,
seen it,
I
but
didn't
I
see
heard.
that.
This is the first time I've ever heard her say something, and I was like, "You're booty."
What'd she say?
I don't know, it's bad.
She did exactly, in my opinion, speaking from the eye, in my opinion,
Man.
she did what we complain about the media doing all the time. She decided to research his background, and because he has a criminal history, she vilified him. First of all, she made it seem as though the country was making him a martyr. The definition of martyr does not fit him. This was nothing religious, right? But she said, I refuse to protest and act like he's a martyr. He's a fucking criminal. And it put a bad taste in my mouth because technically I'm a criminal. I've been arrested.
I've been arrested.
You get me?
So I'm saying, like,
Does it mean that I deserve to lose my life in that manner? You get me?
And that just turned me off.
right, it's in my head. I got the little scratch look.
But don't get turned off. It's not to get
Okay.
turned off. We've all made statements that will leave a bad taste in somebody's mouth.
You're right.
You gotta look at the big picture.
So then what about, I've seen something that said that she made a statement the last, maybe before that, I don't know, but it was very recent, like a week ago, with Democrats want blacks to fail. And
Okay,
that was
first of
another
all,
one. We shouldn't go there, right? But that turned me off too.
let's put one word on the table.
Okay.
Division. You got Democrats, you got Republicans, you got liberals, and they all come in and talk about unifying, unity, making it good for everyone. But if that's the same goal, why do we have those divisions? Doesn't that just give people another reason to argue with each other?
Mm-hmm. Not to like each other, not to agree with each other, to hate each other. Exactly.
We all have some type of belief. Even if your belief is to believe in nothing, there's some type of belief there. People who believe in religions, when you read the books are telling the same stories from different vantage points. Doesn't that mean it's the same shit? But you've been placed, depending on where you were born, what color you were born, who you were born to, into a specific category.
Even on social.
Were we born with these categories? That's Penny.
Oh, Penny's down.
And one of the kids fell outside. He'd be right back. Jasmine went to go see too. But I hope that you can hear me. But yeah, it is pretty sad that we have divisions in our country. And but we started off by saying that we want to find solutions.
Yeah.
So what will be our solution to this chaos division? What can we put out that's different? What can her put out that's different that no one else has ever said as a solution?
But that's just it. They gotta catch up to us.
Sorry. But it's true.
Because we're here.
Hey. Mm-hmm.
You get me?
Mm-hmm.
We're not sitting somewhere talking about, oh man, I would really like to. If only I could. No, we get together. We make decisions. We do the work. We see the progress.
We should walk around down the street saying, "Her." No. We'll catch some collectivity in H.E.R.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've thought of what could we do as a group to be visible and get the message across in a different way. You get me? But fighting, I'm not gonna do. Elevating, I got you. Informing, I got you. Support, I got you.
We set up a thing where everybody's things everybody's good at. They come in this a free day for the community. But
You have to explain that a little further.
So
everybody come and they good at something, and we said what?
Okay, for example, okay, and then I heard you. Say Kai's great at doing hair, Tamika's great at baking. I'm throwing shit out there. I'm just, I'm good at whatever. You good at whatever, you good at whatever. And we do a thing where for the community where they come in and she braids the baby's hair, and somebody does this and whatever with these babies, and not in protest but in support, like
or making them feel good so when they leave us, they're actually talking to their loved ones about her. I don't know, but
I'm not talking about to promote her.
No, I was saying
to bring awareness
to
the fact that we are capable of doing things other than fighting.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what
I need you guys to go away from the door right now, baby. I'll talk to you later. I can't right now. Thank you. There are a million organizations, volunteers, programs that do this type of stuff. Dress for Success is a major one, a major non-for-profit. First of all, I'm for profit. I get paid for what I do. I'm not non-for-profit. You get me?
Right.
So, and I went through Dress for Success before. So you get your voucher and you go to the store and they help you pick out things that would look good or they feel would look good in an interview. Right. Depending on which one you get to go to, you might get a voucher for your hair. You might get some new shoes, But after that moment, Penny, come here. Come here. After that moment, what is this person doing? You guys heard the saying before. If you give a man a piece of fish, he can eat for the day. If you teach that man how to fish, he can eat for a lifetime. And that's the way we have to start thinking. Not temporary band-aids. Real solutions. Real change. That's what we want. No. I'm going to sit you outside. What you need? I got you. I'm being mean to you. I'm sorry.
What if? All right, because I
don't have water.
I saw something on TV where they was talking about disbanding the police or whatever. But one of it was a group. One of them, she made kind of a valid point. She was saying that not to completely disband the police, but that the policemen that's working these neighborhoods need to come from these neighborhoods.
Disband the police.
Yes, that's what they said. Matter of fact,
the only reason we have a police state is because we have police. Look at the psychology. Yo, hold on, let me get her juice.
Yes. But she was saying,
wasn't the police even created because of
And to protect
slaves?
the haves from the have-nots.
Yeah, but when the slaves were free and they felt threatened, they needed to.
They didn't need police for that shit.
But I'm saying,
if you were white, you had authority.
yeah.
Those police was around the kingdoms. You cannot come in here. You don't have
If
no.
you were white, you had authority, but they also started with military. And then it ended up being where military were not necessarily being demoted, but ended up becoming that police.
Well, I was agreeing with her because I was saying like that's true. The police is supposed to serve and protect their community. So why don't people from the community, our own Black brothers and sisters, be that police? Like, cause there's so many people that actually want, to do stuff like that, to be a policeman and stuff, but the bad ones just mess it up for them.
Yeah.
So they don't have no trust for them.
Because then you're now vigilante and you are now breaking the law. You had what do they call? Oh my God.
What, the auxiliary one?
No, the soldiers. Oh. The guardian angels.
Yeah.
They're now the street soldiers. But they were the guardian angels. Even the Nation of Islam, Farrakhan and his brothers, they were doing the same thing at one point. You can only do so much before you become a criminal.
The Panthers too.
And the Panthers. How do I forget about the Panthers? Oh my God. You get me?
Yeah.
So it's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Right now, we need to come up with a plan. And it's funny because I didn't understand that whole Brexit thing that Candace Owens was doing. And I understood it was Black exit. But I'm thinking it's Black exit as in us leaving their system and developing our own. I didn't know she was saying it was the Black exit from the Democratic Party. Yeah.
She's a very bold individual.
She is, and I love it. That's probably why I like her. Because everything she says is definitely not fact, but it's a lot of talking points that she has, things that make you, yeah, and they make sense. Her facts aren't always together. But she makes sense in a lot of things that she says. And really, right now, that's where I am. We need to get our own space. We need to, right now, in our individual communities, begin taking little steps for ourselves, for our families, and coming together in a bigger way as a collective.
And women have done it before. I was up north a little bit, where there was a group of women that got together, and they were single women, and everybody dedicated everybody's kids. There was the carpool. I think that's, if anything, in fact, that's where carpooling may have started from. But it was about 20 women of color that was doing for each other, and it was it was so peaceful. I gotta look it up again, but I gotta look at the
Like a normal African village.
I was about to say.
You know they
because
have,
that's what we do.
you know.
First of all, we've been marked as violent, dangerous people. But if you are fortunate enough to go back, do the research and go back far enough, I don't know who I spoke to. I said it to them last week sometime. I was watching a video on YouTube and they were interviewing like the chief of one of the nations, the Native American nations. And he was telling about when they started to come over to America and colonize. And he said, before the white man got here, we didn't know violence. We didn't know illness. What a lot of people don't know is when you look at these Native Americans, you think they're fair-skinned people with long, straight hair. The Native Americans are the Moors. And what a lot of people don't realize is those Moors were people who migrated here from Ethiopia after the Exodus that the Bible speaks of. So once we left Egypt, we spread out to different parts of Africa. A lot of us ended up in Ethiopia. When the slave trade began, Africans weren't selling their people. They were selling the Israelite people that escaped Egypt and took up home in their land. So that's the first lie that they tell you. Your people sold you. How smart is that for us to even believe that?
Right.
That's the way y'all operate. You get me? But we got over here and we were brown skinned, woolly haired people, just like they spoke of Jesus. And there's pictures to prove it. They don't show you those pictures though. But there's pictures to prove it. At this very moment, you can go to different parts down south and find plaques. No, Jasmine, get your ass up and clean up my stuff. I just didn't want to get electrocuted. It's all right. Accidents happen. Get up. Go play. You done. No. Outside of play. Careful. Yeah, you'll be all right.
Go play with baby and Divya and Paige.
Sorry,
I
Nancy.
know that. You have to wait, okay? Go play.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
She's all right. There are certain places you can go right now down south, and the government has put up plaques speaking about the original people, the Hebrew people. They never called us black. They never called us Indians. They called us Moors. They called us Hebrews. You get me?
I knew that they were the Moors.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, babe. I'm sorry. But I forgot the point that you just threw me off. Because I know I had a reason to say and all that.
You were talking about how we were selling off the Israelites that took over the land.
No, that wasn't
That's
the
what-
point.
That wasn't the point, but that was your last statement.
Yeah, I forgot the point.
Okay.
Oh, well, it's not the first time. It won't be the last.
So about afterwards, like what would be the solution? What would we do after? That was
The gist of it, yeah.
Talking instead of fighting.
yeah.
It's not just talking, it's doing.
I mean,
It's checking
information.
yourself. It's to stop putting blame on anyone. If you want to blame someone, blame the person that you're sitting with every day doing the same shit with. You get me? Because y'all doing that shit together. What's wrong? Did you just... Yo, that's rice water, dude. What are you doing? Communication is key. That shit don't stink. Have a seat. Have a seat. I love you. Yeah, I'm all lost now.
Yo, collectivity, bringing awareness, information, talking to our communities.
You just advise out.
Is it?
But even with the croissant, don't take a
No.
and then a little piece of
Some tea or coffee with it.
Oh,
Jasmine,
that's so good.
this is not your pop-tart period.
No, this is my
Ain't nobody listening to Jasmine. We listening to Tamika.
Yes.
I was trying to get back to our point.
Yeah.
And I think it started with Jasmine saying that we should all do something to
Oh
for our
yeah.
community.
I like that idea. It's just to come up with the what. But I like
Now-
that idea.
It's not just the what, it's the whole organization of it. It's more than just talk it out and, hey, let's do it.
Well, we gotta have a plan first. We gotta have it starts there.
So
What's the idea?
solution? The solution is
The solution is an individual solution for everyone. My solution was to start her. To become a coaching consultant and start working with people who don't understand, one, who they really are. And two, once you find out who you are, to provide the support and the platform that you need to elevate yourself. That was my individual solution. Jasmine's is becoming more clear. Because what she's doing with the productions and stuff will give her such a wide platform,
That's
such
so
a
true.
huge voice, you know. So it's not like we're gonna come up with all the solutions right now. But the first thing we can all do once we get home from these protests is to really look at ourselves and figure out, what can I do? What adjustments do I personally need to make to not contribute to the problem?
Putting that aside for a second, you know, I've shared my my dream with my mother-in-law. Like, she's white, okay, and she laughed when I told her eventually I would love to own a slew of yachts. You know how they have the cruise line that will go way in. They've had the cruise line and the New Yorker and maybe the Statue of Liberty. There's very few, and they have like 5 of them, something like that. And I told her I wanted to be the next huge, like to travel. I told her, I said, but I want to start small and I want to see where I can go with it. But my ultimate goal would be to have, you know, the same thing that they're doing because I just love horses. So she laughed. She said, I can't see you being in a yacht and driving the yacht.
Okay.
I said, I can't. You know, so I forgot to mention that to you. I wanted to make you aware that gave me even more fuel to be like, you don't have to think that I can't. You know? And it wasn't it was a shocker that somebody would say that to me, but and then doesn't believe in me. But I don't need anybody to believe in me.
She doesn't believe in herself. Mm-hmm. And that's what I keep explaining to you guys. When someone gives you their opinion on some shit they've never thought about, haven't researched, that's not their perspective of what you can do. That's them with that limiting shit in their head. If I can't do it, she can't do it. You get me? It can be the most simple shit. But if a person believes that it's not doable for themselves, it's hard for them to see anyone doing it if they haven't actually seen the person doing it.
I get it.
You get me? So never internalize shit people say. In regards to what it is you want to do, your dreams, your goals, until you got to a certain point, you don't share that shit with people anyway. Because even if you're confident in what you're doing, just that little bit of negative energy is a seed. You get me? So God forbid you come across the next person and you come across a slew of people that have the same. It's not that you can't. But if enough people tell you you can't, you start to believe. Why does everyone think that? Because they've never tried to do shit. Yeah. That's one of the reasons we meet on a regular basis. Because we go out into the world and we're surrounded by people with these low vibrations, with no goals, no aspirations, no motivation, no inspiration to do anything, who really believe this is my life and I just gotta deal with it. You get me? How dare you think you can live and rise above your means? Excuse you? Are you stupid? No, I don't have to ask that question. I know you're stupid. And I'm not going to say that because that's me. You're not stupid, but you're very ignorant. You get me? We live surrounded by people who hear something and automatically has judgment. Not one question asked, no research done. You get me? So there's no reason you should ever listen to anybody in regards to what you want to do. Y'all, I asked y'all to come and help me. They laughed at me. I said, I need y'all to come and help me get some shit together. I'm trying to brainstorm and get my ideas down on paper. And I sat here and they would say a word and I'd be like, no, wait. And you're like, maybe, no. And after maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, it was like, why did you call us?
Why were you? And you showed them why.
And it's that exchange of energy, though. You know? So we meet because,
It just made me think about me, like, I did get it in that moment, but now working on it, I get it. That,
Right.
That energy, like it's not that I need you to say something. I just need you. I need you
Right.
Presence.
Yes, your
That's
presence.
awesome.
So we meet to ensure that out of all the bullshit we have to deal with during the week, we have this one day, this one moment, this one time where we know we can recharge and elevate our vibration around women who are not judging and are truly here to assist each other and build collectively and individually. That's why we meet. So that you can be around the type of people you need to be around to elevate. I talk about purging and all of this other. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to just totally eliminate everyone who's negative from your life. A lot of people will end up like me. If I didn't have kids, I would have been alone because I totally cut everyone off. You know, it's hard taking those first steps towards the change that you want to incite. You need to have like-minded people. And when I say like-minded, I mean people who are doing better than you, if not on the same level with you. But you don't want to hang out with anybody that's not trying to do the same things you're trying to do. Because they are vampires and they will suck the life force out of you. They will make you feel comfortable being complacent. It is what it is. So you keep the right people around you. That's all. How long have we been running? Oh, it's over now. We're about to call this a wrap.
Okay.
I ain't introduced my shit. Hi, everybody. My name is Kia B. Cole. I am the spiritual advocate, founder of H.E.R Empowerment, and that's the end of the meeting. Love you.
Bye. That was short, sweet, and on time. Like,